The son of a Mexican wrestling legend has died after suffering a blow in the ring. I'm Jim Baskel with the latest ESPN headlines. His name is Pedro Aguayo Ramirez. He fell unconscious on the ropes after being kicked by fellow wrestler Oscar Gutierrez, who's known as former WWE star Rey Mysterio Jr. The match actually continued on for some 2 minutes before those on hand realized that Aguayo had suffered a serious injury. We are joined on the phone by Sean Rueter, a writer for CageSideSeats.com. And Sean, the company that organized the event called The Crash, called the death unfortunate, an accident like those that occur in other high-risk sports. How might this incident lead to possible legal recourse against this organization?
That is being talked about right now with the Tijuana Athletic Commission and some of the medical professionals down there. As someone who's watched the sport or the spectacle of wrestling for quite some time, what was going on in the ring is not uncommon. So I think that might be a stretch. I think that might be a little bit of a sensational play on their part, but it is an option. They're talking about manslaughter charges possibly against the other performers in the ring, and certainly against the Crash organization for some sort of negligence for not having enough medical professionals there for timely enough responses.
Yeah, the state prosecutor's office said the cause of death, based on the autopsy, was trauma to the neck and cervical fracture. You mentioned it. The doctor in charge was not at ringside because he was treating another injured wrestler. How much do you think this incident might lead to change protocol for the organization running these events?
That's a big question. There is a very much the show must go on mentality in pro wrestling, and there always has been. I think changes to that are slow, the same way changes are to things like concussion awareness and those sorts of things, as the organization said, in other sports like football and things that we've seen. So I think that stuff is getting better, but I don't think that's going to change overnight. And I don't think, as tragic as this incident is, I don't think that all of a sudden there's going to be new, organizational or legal things saying that the show has to stop when we believe there's an injury.
Sean Rueter, a writer for CageSideSeats.com. Sean, thanks for some insight. Again, Aguayo had wrestled for 20 years. He was the son of the legendary Pedro Aguayo, who is now retired. You could read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. With the latest ESPN headlines, I'm Jim Baskel.